Ladies and gentlemen, it is another installment of Motivation Monday right here on Influencer Radio. Thank y'all so much for joining us on the Real 1100 AM. I am your host, Kevin C. Pride. And today, we got a very special guest in the house. And we got a very special conversation because today we are talking about branding. Why do I need to be branded? What is branding? So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Y'all had to excuse me. I'm not feeling all that great today, but the Lord is blessing me with health as I stay on the air. Okay? So, today we are talking branding yourself. Now, we're going to give y'all some tips to help build your strategy. And I'm going to give y'all the biggest tip. Go to influencer365.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and leave your information right there in that beautiful lead capture form. Let us know what you're doing and what you need help with, and we'll be more than happy to get in contact with you. So, branding yourself. Why do you need to brand yourself? And what is branding? Branding is basically, this day and age, there is so much noise out there, and there are so many people, and everybody's an expert. And honestly, at this point, with platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all these platforms, anybody can jump on now and be a superstar and be an expert in whatever industry they want to. So how do we decide, or how do we find out who's the real and who's the fake? Okay, that's where branding comes in at. Because when a person is branded properly, when we put you around the right people and get you in the right scenarios, then we can really coin you as an expert, and we can help raise you above some of the noise that's going on. So one of the first things that we need to start talking about when we start talking about branding, know who you are and know who you aren't. I think that's a very powerful thing, because when you know who you are and know what your brand represents, it's important to define yourself and your business, because we don't want to identify with everything that's out there. We need to understand what your brand stands for. When you see Influencer 365, you know we stand for quality. We stand for professionalism. You know that you're going to get some of the best creative work in the world. You know we're going to put you on some of the biggest stages and get you with some of the biggest celebrities out there. So branding and knowing who you are and what that brand stands for is a big part of branding yourself. Now, I don't have a lot of time, so I can't go into too much detail with all of this type of stuff. But number two, what else do we need to do? We need to identify our target audience. Who am I speaking to? Who is my audience? Is it 18 to 25? Is it 25 to 45? Is it 45 and up? What I have found, and what we found with Influencer 365, our audience really is about anywhere but, I say, 25 to about 55. That is really the audience, and that's our target market. That's who we put most of our marketing and branding into. That is the market that we are always trying to identify with. And it's very important to know who your customers are and where to find them at the time of building a brand strategy. So if you're clueless as to who is likely to buy your product and service, you'll have a hard time narrowing down the advertising platforms to choose for promotional campaigns, and you'll end up losing a lot of money. And I've done that. Early on, I didn't really understand my target market the way I should have. And this is way before Influencer 365. This is back when I owned my studio, Product Studios. You know, we did not really understand our target market. We thought it was artists. We thought it was rappers. We thought it was musicians. Couldn't find out they ain't got no money. And they don't like to invest in themselves. So we had to really quickly switch gears and start to find us a brand new audience and start targeting people in a different way. The next thing that you need to understand is your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? What's my purpose? How does my business promise serve or fulfill purpose? Once we know this answer, then we can start to create a brand, and we can start to create a strategy to help, number one, elevate us in the marketplace, but number two, start to identify with our target market and find out the people that we're helping and the value that we're bringing to the marketplace. Now, one of these big things that people miss, number four, understand how others perceive you. I think this is one of the biggest things that people kind of miss. They don't think about how they're coming off to other people, and it's something I had to talk to young folks a lot, because a lot of times, I don't care. I don't care how nobody think. I don't care what nobody think about me. You need to care what your customers think about you. Because if I don't think you're professional, I'm not going to do business with you. I got to be honest with you. If I don't think you can get the job done, then I'm not going to do business with you. Because I remember when I first started, I've been an entrepreneur forever. And when I first started, I was a lot younger. And I'm one of those type of people, I kind of look young anyway. I'm not that young no more. I see everybody looking at me. But I'm one of those type of people, I got a youthful look. But when I was a lot younger in my 20s, I looked like a little kid, almost like a teenager out here. And just imagine going to some of these bigger businesses and some of these major corporations talking about how I can help them with marketing, and I look like I just got out of high school. So understanding how other people perceive you is a very, very big part of branding yourself, because when you understand how you're coming off to people, then you can start to adjust and make sure that you're coming off as a professional, and that most importantly, that you can get the job done. Now, capitalize on who you naturally are. What does this mean? A lot of people, when they out here and they get started, they want to go and copy people. And don't get me wrong, and this is a strategy that we teach a lot of young folks. Go and model the best. Find out who you want to be in the marketplace. Do you want to be Tony Robbins? Do you want to be Arthur Blank? Do you want to be 50 Cent? Make sure that you are targeting, or make sure you are modeling the best person in your industry. You want to always be shooting for that top person in the industry. And if you want to join the conversation, you got questions, give us a call, 404-603-8770. Give us a call and we'll definitely get you on air and answer some of the questions that you might have. Now, capitalizing on who you naturally are. Everybody has natural talents and everybody has natural skills, but capitalizing on who you naturally are is basically, I'm not necessarily saying be real, but be you. Because that's what people want to see. We got a Kevin Hart. We got a 50 Cent. We got a Arthur Blank. We got all these other people out here, but we don't have you. There's only one Kevin C. Pride, trust me. And Kevin C. Pride is nominated for a Rice Award. So vote him against today. From now until September 23rd, you can go to thericeawards.com and vote every single day for Kevin C. Pride. And just remember, a vote for me is a vote for entrepreneurs everywhere. I'm telling you, I'm going to politics next. Watch. But you want to capitalize on who you naturally are. Me, I'm a people person. I love people. I love being around people, and I just have that energy about myself. You might be a creative, or you might be a introvert, but you need to learn how to use your natural abilities to connect with the people that you want to be around. Number 6, be sincere. And this goes right back to what I just said. Be sincere. People don't initially buy into a brand. They buy into a person. Be sincere in all you do, and it will resonate with your core audience. As potential clients and customers see that you work from the heart with a spirit of excellence, they will become your most avid brand ambassadors. And that is so true, because I've worked with several people now. They know I'm the type of person that's going to get the job done. I do what I say I'm going to do. Sometimes it might take a little longer than what we want to, but we always do exactly what we say we're going to do. And that sincerity comes across to your market. It comes across to the people that you do business with. And once they find out that, hey, this is a real sincere person, he works from the heart, he does what he says he's going to do, he's going to get this thing done for me, then you best believe you got a customer for life. Number 7, you need to understand how to clearly articulate your value. Now, this is a hard one. This is a hard one. Understanding how to clearly articulate your value is more so about that 30-second elevator pitch. If you can't tell me what you do in 30 seconds, then most of the time you really don't understand it that well yourself. And if what you have to say is so complicated that you can't get out in 30 seconds, then you really need to think about, how can I simplify my message, and how can I get my message down to a point where I can reach everybody at every level. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people don't like Donald Trump, but he has a very simple message that people can connect to. And that is really what is driving his whole candidacy, and that's what's driving him in this next election, is because he can identify with a lot of people and meet them where they are. Now, I don't like his message, I'm going to be honest with you. But I think America's already great. I think it's been great, so we don't need to make it great again. But it's the simplicity of the message that really helps him connect with a much larger audience. Because if you sound like a textbook, you're only gonna connect with people that read textbooks, and that's just what it is. You want to make sure that you have a powerful brand promise. Now, what is a brand promise? When it comes to creating a brilliant branding strategy, you need a powerful brand promise. You must inform the prospect of what they stand to gain after engaging with your brand or business in general. Let the audience know what's in it for them. And that's what I try to explain to people all the time. We live in this me generation. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. I never talk to people about Kevin C. Pride other than today because I'm voted because I need y'all to vote for me for the Rice Awards. But I don't talk to people about Kevin C. Pride. I talk to people about them and what we can do for them and not what they can do for me. Now, this one right here is a very powerful one. Choose your medium and have a consistent content strategy. Conveying your value proposition creatively through one or more mediums. Now, a lot of people like to do that through photography. Some folks like to do it through written word. But what we're finding is probably one of the most powerful mediums is video. The more video that you can have out there, the more that you're talking and getting that message out there and people are seeing you in these videos, this is very powerful for your brand because when people can actually see you and connect with you one-on-one, it gives them that feeling of connecting with you one-on-one, especially in social media nowadays. So if you need video for your brand, come to Influencer 365. Go to our website, influencer365.com. We have one of the best videographers in the game today, okay, working on our staff, and I'm very proud to work with him. He does all our video work for us, and he does an excellent job. And we got some great packages for you guys that you can take advantage of. Lastly, we need to define our brand image, and we're going to have to cut it right here because we got to go to commercial in a second. But you need to define your brand image. What stands for your brand? Once you define who you are and what's important to you, visually, we need to find photos, images, colors, and graphics to build out our website, our business cards, and our social media platform. Having an online and offline image that reflects the core of your values allows the artifacts to begin to tell a story about your brand that can be consistent with the image across all platforms. And that's our branding right there. That's our music right there. So give me a second. We're going to commercial real quick. We're going to our first break. And when we come back, I have a very, very special guest in the house with me tonight. She is a up-and-coming author, and she is killing it right now with her brand new book. So give me a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now back. Y'all had to excuse me there. I feel awful today, but that's all right. We gonna roll with it. That's what we gonna do. So I am sitting here with soon-to-be best-selling author. She has written a book, Dare to Dream, Miss LaFarris Risby. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. So you're an overcomer of domestic violence. Okay, that's number one. Hands up to you. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
So I'm so glad that you were being able to overcome that. So give me an idea about your book, Dare to Dream. You're an overcomer of domestic violence. How did the experience help you become who you are today?
The experience helped me become who I am today by directly helping me to love me, to think about things that I wanted to do, things that I wanted to be.
Wow. So what part of this or what came from this experience that helped you start to learn about yourself?
I started to learn that it was power in me,
Okay.
that it was something more in me than just the abuse.
Okay.
So I decided that, hey, I need to work on it. I need to figure out who this person is and what this person wanted to be, who I wanted to be.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about the book. What's some of the things that's in your book?
It talks about the death of my mom and goes into me being a teenage mom and having a premature infant, 1 pound and 9 ounces. And then it moves into the abuse and it moves into me going through the different trials and tribulations up until I decided that I was going to get out of the abuse. And I moved to Junction City, Kansas with $50, no place to live, me and my 2 children. And we decided I took my power back.
Wow.
And decided I was gonna do something else, that I was better than it. I had to learn how to love me.
Wow. Now, you said you had 2 children, and you moved to Junction City, Kansas. First of all, what Junction City, Kansas? I ain't never heard of Junction City, Kansas.
Every time everybody say, "Oh, you from Kansas City? You from Kansas City?" No, I'm from Junction City, Kansas, right next to Fort Riley, next to K-State football. Everybody say the Wildcats, so that might give you an idea of the area. Okay. No, not Manhattan, New York, Manhattan, Kansas.
Now, I've heard these type of stories a lot in my life, but what is that really like, to have to pack up and leave everything that leave a relationship that you've been in for a long time, and with 2 children on top of everything else, and move to a new place like that?
I was scared. I was terrified. I'd never been more scared in my life, but I had been praying because I believe in the power of prayer, and I had been praying, and I know I heard the voice of God. Wow. I heard God tell me, Joshua 1, wherever you place your foot upon, you shall possess the land. Go and I will be with you. And I did just that. I was trembling so bad that I couldn't even stop my legs from shaking. Wow. But I felt like it was a force that was pulling me. Okay. And so it was like an uncontrollable force that was pulling me. And I decided I was going to put one foot in front of the other and just move.
Wow. Now, when you said you were scared, you had to be going through some pretty miserable things to just up and leave everything that you had to go through. Kind of give us an idea of some of the stuff that you had to go through.
Well, one of the things is I was going through a marriage. I was going through a bad marriage. Okay. And I did not start out going to Junction City to be alone, to have a marriage that ended up in divorce. I actually heard God tell me he would not let the enemy, the devil, destroy my marriage. Okay. And so I took that to be that he wouldn't allow me and Tyrone, which was my husband at the time, to get a divorce. So I said, okay, we're going to work things out. Okay. But that's not how it happened. That's not how the transition took place. And so when I got there, he had no idea I was even there. Wow. He had no idea I was even there. And so me and the kids, I said, my kids need some stability. Okay. I've got to figure out something for stability.
Now, you how old were you when you were going through all this stuff? Is this teenage years or? We started in my teenage years. I was 14 years old. Wow. And when we divorced, I was 28. Okay. So I was in the marriage for 14 years. And the first time Daddy hit me, I thought it was an accident. Okay. I didn't understand what domestic violence was. I was a teenager. What did I know about domestic violence? That's true. I hadn't seen it from my family because my mother and father were together to the day she closed her eyes. Okay. So I never saw them arguing and fighting. I never saw my dad put his hands on her. And so, but for me, the abuse came because I didn't love me. Okay. I was angry with my mother for dying. I didn't know that she died, that I could live. I had no idea any of this until I was like 18 years old. Wow. So I hated her. I had a dislike, a hatred for her. Wow. And I said, and that's why I talk to mothers. I talk to mothers all the time about when things are going on in your house and things are going on with your children, explain to your children. Okay. A 4-year-old is very residual, and they understand more than you give them credit for. Okay. So I tell them, I say, hey, if you don't know what to say, get a book. Wow. There's a book for everything. That's true. And so you can kind of explain to them. No, you don't have to go into great detail. My children never knew that wasn't any food in the house. Okay. I remember going to Walmart with my daughter, and I wasn't going to let my ex-husband see her without nice clothes on and looking like that she wasn't taken care of. So I went to Walmart, bought her outfit, and told her, don't mess this outfit up. Okay. And I put the tags back on and took it back to the store because I couldn't afford to pay for it. So I paid for it then, and I took it back later. I mean, you do what you got to do, till you make it to your next level. I tell people, fake it till you make it. You gonna make it if you fake it long enough and you say it long enough. You'll train your mind to believe it. Wow. Because a person is whatever you think you are, whatever you think you can accomplish. If you think it long enough, you'll accomplish because it'll become a focal point in your mind. Okay. And you'll start seeing it. I tell them, I say, I'll never be broke another day in my life. I tell people that all the time. I don't care. I don't care what I don't have. I don't have to have a dime in my pocket. Amen. But I know I'll never be broke another day in my life. And if I say it long enough, it's going to come to pass. Okay. It's just like the book. I said, I'm going to write me a book. Okay. It's sitting, there it go right there. Now you sound so powerful, and you sound like you just got it so together, and you sound like such an inspiration. So how were you ever in this situation of being a domestic victim?
Love. I disliked my mother, so I felt abandoned. Okay. And that opened up doors for unhealthy relationships.
Okay.
I felt like she didn't love me. If you would have loved me, you would have stayed here like you stayed here for the rest of my sisters and brothers. You just high off. You just got up and left me.
Okay.
Which I really didn't understand the process. I was never told why, that if she goes through with the pregnancy, that the complications may enlarge her heart and that she may die. Well, she lived 6 years after I was born. She did.
Okay.
And I ask myself, would I have been able to be selfless like that and gave my life not knowing what I was going to do, what I was going to be, and where I was going to go so another person can live?
Wow.
So that's where the abandonment really started, and that's what gave me that unhealthy relationships. I didn't really know how to love myself.
Okay. Wow. Now, one thing I do know, coming from, having childhood issues, is that sense of worthlessness. And like you say, it's hard to love yourself because when the ultimate people that were supposed to love you and value you, when they don't, then it's hard for you to see that value in yourself, especially when it hadn't been instilled in you as a child. Who is this book for?
This book is for women.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that it's not for men because right now I see men going through this same battle. Okay. 1 out of every 7 men are in some kind of domestic violence relationship.
Wow.
And men, they're just macho. They ain't going to say nothing about it. Because, if you walk up to a man and he ain't finna tell you that he going through some of the same things you're going through.
Okay.
But because I've worked in the child care field, I've worked with children and family, I'm a certified family life educator, people tend to gravitate and just kind of open up and tell me some of these things.
Okay.
So it can be for women, it can be for men. I especially want teenagers to be involved because they don't understand what's happening to them. They don't really understand, and they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell their moms. They're not going to tell their dads. They may tell their best girlfriend, but that best girlfriend, that's your best friend. She going to keep your secret.
Wow.
And your secret might cost you to die.
Now, I got daughters at home now. I got 2 of them. I got 12-year-old and 7-year-old. What are some of these things that parents need to be looking for or signs and symptoms in their children that might, show us that, hey, something's going on with this child or this child is being abused and she's not talking about it? What are some of those things that parents need to be looking for?
Know where your kids are. Okay. That was one of the biggest things. I used to be able to tell my father I was going one place, and the very first time I remember getting a black eye, he had not a clue. He didn't know until years later because I went over to a friend's house and I stayed until, and witch hazel, doctored it up, make it up, put all kind of stuff on it. He never saw it. Wow. And so kids will tell you, especially young girls, they'll tell you, I'm going over Sally's house and stay all night. And, be aware of where your children are. Be aware of what they're doing on Facebook. Be aware. Do one of those parent things that you pop in and be like, hey, girl, what's going on? You know how we like to keep them doors closed? We like to keep them doors closed. Pop in. Don't knock. Just kind of pop in and kind of figure out, what's going on. Because there are signs. There are signs. They're just real subtle signs. And sometimes we miss them. Go back to them dinners. Right now, everybody's in this microwave relationships.
Okay.
Where everything is real quick, real simultaneously.
Okay.
So, back in my day, we had breakfast together, or lunch together, or dinner together as a family.
Okay.
Well, we've gotten away from that now because moms and dads are not getting home to 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and they're tired. So your children have already ate, and sometimes if they're much younger, they're already in bed.
Okay.
So you've got to take that time to connect with them. You've got to take that time and ask questions. If you are grandparents, you're famous to be getting information out of kids that they otherwise wouldn't tell. They tell all the business that mom and dad is doing at home. They tell grandparents all the business. So if you're close enough to your grandkids, they'll tell it. They'll tell you. Now, you need to make sure that you are communicating that to those parents. Don't let your grandchildren know that you told. Tell that parent, hey, this is going on with Jack and this is going on with Jill. I need you to handle this, but not in such a way that you say, oh, grandma said you was doing so and 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 so, because then she's lost trust in grandma and now she ain't got nobody to confide in. So you don't know what's going on. And girlfriends, and they ain't finna tell it. That's my best friend. I ain't telling off on her.
Wow.
They're just not.
Now, what age group are you seeing this domestic abuse happening in? Like, what are some of the age groups, or is there any correlation to age in this happening, or is this just bad home training, or are you seeing this more in like high school kids? Like, what age groups are y'all really seeing? Because I know you said this started for you at 14.
And it has nothing with economic status.
Wow.
It has nothing with color, culture, has nothing to do with domestic violence.
Okay.
And that's what we need to understand. We think it only happened in families where there's a single parent, or, that there's not enough money in the household, that they're living in the poverty. No, it happens at every status. It does not matter. That has nothing to do with it. And we need to understand that it's not how much money you make, what color your skin is. It has nothing to do with that. It's to do with control over another human being.
Okay.
That is the basis of it, control.
Wow. Now, when you say it has a lot to do with control, is this those type of people that try to shut you off from the world? And is it those type of people that you're going to be with me, you don't need to have no friends and all this type of stuff? Are these the type of people that are typically the domestic abusers?
Sometimes it happens that way, but think about a person that is the abuser and the person that has been abused.
Okay.
So the abuser, they sometimes start out subtle. Like my abuser would say, I don't want you to work.
Okay.
I don't want you to work. I want you to stay home and, raise the kids. That sound good.
Yeah.
That sound real good.
Okay.
I'm young. I'm 18 years old. He already done popped me 2 or 3 times, but, okay, he not going to do it no more.
Okay.
I tell all women, how your job, I don't care if it's at Burger King or McDonald's. Some money is better than no money, okay?
Okay.
So, and then for the person that's being abused, they either grow up with that installed in them, and they'll either be an abuser or they'll allow somebody to abuse them. And that was one of the reasons why I got out of the relationship, because I didn't want my daughter to be me, and I didn't want my son to be him.
Wow.
And I felt like the longer I stayed, what we don't realize as parents, the children are living through the abuse with us.
Okay.
They're seeing it. They may not be seeing the physical of them knocking you around or them saying things that you just shouldn't be saying, but they're hearing the fight tonight. I don't care how quiet you are.
Okay.
I don't care how quiet you are. And kids can tell when something is wrong. They automatically know. They have very good intuition, okay?
Okay.
We just don't give them, that credit. But they have very good intuition. They know when mommy is upset. I remember my son telling me, and he's now 31 years old. And I remember him telling me that he used to hear me crying at night.
Wow.
I'm thinking I'm doing this at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning when I know they sleep.
Okay.
They still heard it.
Wow. So how you said you have a daughter and a son. How old was your daughter when all this was going on?
My daughter was born in 1983. I had her, I was 14. I had her at 15.
Okay.
And so he was the father. He was the father of both of my children.
Okay.
My son and my daughter. So it started very early.
Okay.
It started very early on. I was 14 when I got hit for the very first time.
Wow.
And I didn't know what that felt like because I had never been hit by that kind of force before. Okay. My father didn't hit me. So I was like, okay, this had to be an accident.
So how if because a lot of times I think a lot of women that deal with this type of stuff come from daddy used to beat me or daddy used to spank me a lot. So how was it that somebody was able to do this to you and your father never even treated you this way?
Because I allowed it.
Okay.
See, a lot of times we allow things to happen, and not because I don't want a woman or a man or anybody out here that's hearing this to feel less than.
Okay.
But sometimes we allow people to hurt us
Okay.
because of we feel self-worth. We feel worthless.
Okay.
We feel like there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me that this person can't love me.
Okay.
Because I felt like, oh, my mother left me. It had to be something wrong with me. I had 4 other sisters and brothers that she was there with them until they were in high school, or either that or they were grown and gone on their own. So what was so wrong with me that she couldn't stay, that she didn't love me enough to stay here? So I carried that abandonment. I carried that shame. And that's what stemmed. And he came along, and I always call people like Slickhead Eddie and Fast Freddy.
Okay.
I always have some kind of name for him.
Right.
I said, he came along, and he made me feel special. He made me feel like that he loved me, that he was all into me.
Wow.
And then, so when you feel worthless and you feel that abandonment, and all of a sudden you got somebody that's doing everything, making you feel protected, doing all these things for you, you feel like, oh, they love me.
Okay.
They love me. But all you're really doing is giving your power to them.
Wow. Now, what was your relationship like with your father? Because for him not to notice what was going on, and you allow another man to do this to you, what was that relationship like?
My father found out that all this was going on later. He found out years later. My father was there. I had two sisters. I had one sister that had been through some emotional things.
Okay.
But me and my other two sisters, we both had been through emotional and physical abuse for our boyfriends. Okay. And I watched that. And I watched my dad come to their rescue. I watched my dad come through that house with that shotgun, shooting, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I love this man. I didn't want to risk my father finding out and hurting him because I felt like he loved me.
But
I hid it.
But you saw other people go through that. So
why
didn't you identify as this being something wrong?
Because I felt like it wasn't wrong. I didn't have nothing else to gauge a relationship with. I was 14 years old.
I got you.
So what was I gauging it toward?
Okay.
My mother died when I was 5, so I only had 6. I only had a few years to see a relationship through them.
Okay.
I had seen my two sisters go through it, but I didn't understand it.
Okay.
I didn't understand it. You feel like somehow you deserve it.
Okay.
What am I doing wrong? You know, he would tell me, you make me do this. I don't want to act like this. I don't want to hit you. I don't want to do this. You make me do this because you're questioning me and you asking me that. So you're making you feel like something wrong with you.
I got you.
And so you're trying to figure out what's wrong with me.
Wow. Now, being a father of 2 beautiful little girls, is this a conversation that we need to have prematurely? Is this something that we need to talk about as fathers? Is this something that we need to sit down with our daughters and say, hey, this is wrong, and no man should ever put his hands on you, and if this happens, you need to come tell daddy because I got some shotguns, trust me.
Yes.
But is that a conversation that we need to be proactive about?
It is a conversation that we need to have. I think we don't have it because we sweep it under the rug.
Okay.
But back in the day, people used to say, if you keep sweeping stuff waving up under the rug, it's going to eventually come waving back up under there. Well, this is a conversation that I feel like needs to be had with both men and women. Because not only can you be physically abused, but you can be emotionally abused.
Wow. Now, let's switch gears a little bit because we this is so interesting. We flying through time today. So tell me this: what impact do you want this your story to have on people?
I honestly want people to know that there's success afterwards. There's a life after this.
Wow.
You may have to work a little bit, work a little hard to get to that life, but it's life after this. And you have a life. You just got to take control of your life. And is it going to be easy? Oh, no. But you're going to put one foot in front of the other every day.
Wow. Now, this is a business show. So just to switch gears up just a little bit and put some business information out there. Now, you're listed among the 10,000 small businesses as part of a Gold Saxman initiative. What's that?
Goldman & Sachs. I I became a graduate of Goldman & Sachs in 2018.
Okay.
And what it is it's a organization where they're going to do 10,000 different businesses. And what they do is they help economically empower you.
Wow.
To help you with your staffing, your business, education, all those different things that you need to grow your business, things that you need mentors, people that can help you grow your business, access to capital, things that you might not have access to as a new entrepreneur. And what I did was I found out through one of my coaches, and I decided that I said, I'm going to try this. And then I went ahead and I tried it. I went through, it was hundreds and hundreds of applications. I was able to be chosen out of one of the applications, and I had to pitch them about my organization, my company, and where I was going and the things that I had planned to do in the next 5 years. And they follow you for at least 36 months after you graduate.
Wow.
Because they make you do milestones so they can keep you on track.
Now, what is your organization and company?
One is Loving Arms Child Care and Preschool.
Okay.
And I recently, I'm not going to say walked away because I still have some hands in it, but I'm here in Atlanta right now, and that's back in Junction City, and I gave the reins over to my children to go ahead and move that organization forward while I started moving Loving Arms, while I started moving LaFarris Inc. forward.
Okay.
Which is the publishing, the executive coaching, and that piece of the organization forward.
Wow. Now, what type of executive coaching do you do? Because I'm a big fan of coaching.
It depends on what your needs are. It can be professional and it can be personal.
Okay.
Because I tell people, you got to get your personal self together first before you can go out there and get your business self together.
Amen.
You got to have some personal things in order before you can go out there and start making those moves and shaking those trees in the business world.
Okay.
So it depends on if they have a conception. We talk about where they want to go, and then we make plans and track them to help them get there. Wow. I try to connect them to because I know where I'm good at. I know my gift. Okay. So if it's something that I don't know, I'm going to send you to somebody that I know knows. Okay. Because I utilize my Goldman Sachs network. I have access to 10,000 other business people all over the world, internationally. So we have access to other people to assist you with what your needs are.
Wow. So what are some of the business types that you have coached?
I've coached people through personal turmoil. Okay. I've did people through team building. They were trying to build a team for their organization, and they weren't sure which direction or what model they needed to use. I've helped people start their child care centers. I've helped people do branding their child care centers. Okay. Because it's really important. You need to know where your kids are.
Oh, yeah.
And it needs to reflect who you are as a person, because those children are taking on the roles and the values of the people that's working with them every day.
Wow.
And I think sometimes we just kind of stick them someplace and don't think about that they're actually your next generation. We're going to die at some point.
Amen. Now, as we start to move towards the end of this, what would the LaFarris of today say to the LaFarris of yesterday?
Love me.
Wow.
Learn to love me.
Now, let's break that down real quick because, and we ain't got long, but let's break that down real quick because love me don't mean being selfish.
Love me don't mean being selfish, by no means. But it's about taking care of you. Okay. Deciding what you want and making those moves to make sure it happens. That doesn't mean that you don't stop being a wife. That doesn't mean you don't stop being a mother. That doesn't mean you don't stop being an auntie or a friend. You're still all those people, but you're now focusing some of your time on you. Wow. And who you want to be. At the end of the day, I tell people, I want to make my mark while not missing my mark.
Wow, that is powerful. Before you go, I like to give everybody that comes on the show 2 minutes, just shameless publicity. Everything that you got going on, everything you got coming up, let us know. And 2 minutes.
All righty. Well, LaFarris Inc. is here in Atlanta. I'm loving this place.
Wow.
I am loving it. I am
all the way from Junction City, Kansas.
I'm in the process of just building a team, getting to know the city, hoping to get involved in some of the activities and some of the things that you guys do here in the community with shelters and homeless and women and teenagers and moms and entrepreneurship and business. I just want to be a part of the community.
Wow.
I want to get some grassroots laid down here.
Well, I definitely got some connections for you, and I got some people that we have been working with that can definitely use some of your help and some of your coaching. Where can we find your book?
The book is on www.LaFarrisRisby.com. You want me to spell that out?
Please do.
Okay. LaFarris is LaFarrisRisby.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. And it's all using LaFarris L. Risby. I'm loving my name because nobody else has it. It's only one of me.
Woo, I hear you. Ain't but one Kevin C. Pride either. I'm going to just let y'all know. And you got a special gift for me today.
I do. This is a book signed and autographed for me called Dare to Dream.
I got me another book from a famous best-selling author. We're going to speak it into existence today.
Yes, we are.
Amen. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful interview, and I especially enjoyed spending time with you today. And I hope I can have you back after you become a big-time national best-selling author. If you don't get too big for me, then you'll come back and sit down with us.
I'll come back.
Thank y'all so much. We're heading over to commercial break. We'll be right back with Atlanta Business Journal Hot Topics. Oh, y'all. I told y'all as soon as I go on air, I started to immediately feel better. I'm starting to feel better. Thank you, Lord.
Oh, God, he's feeling so.
We are now back right here on Influencer Radio on the Real 1100 AM. Don't sit there stuck in traffic cussing folks out. Tune in, get some great business advice, and hear from some of the top people in business today. Right now, it's time for the Atlanta Business Journal Hot Topics. So, in Midtown, we're on the third phase of Midtown's Tech Square, and it is moving forward. The potentially $200 million project could produce 2 new high-rises, and a large pedestrian plaza. The evolution of Midtown's Tech Square shows no sign of slowing. Georgia Tech announced last week the third phase of development that's already transformed several blocks is moving forward. It's expected to produce 2 new high-rises to house facilities for the Ernest Scheller College of Business and the H. Milton Stewart School of Industrial and Systems Engineering, among other programming. Honestly, Atlanta is becoming the tech capital of the South now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to do the same thing with the Gulch, too.
Really?
Yeah, the little area, the little tollgate area. People like, I know my cousin Keisha, Miss Bottoms, the Honorable Miss Bottoms, right?
All right.
She's in works right now with major development. They're trying to get that whole area to build it up. Like they want some high rises and some other little developmental things over there.
Okay.
I love it. I've been telling people that, I don't know a lot of people who are not from Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
Atlanta used to be, if you ever go to Charlotte,
Okay.
that's what Atlanta was 20 years ago.
All right.
It was it was a city.
Yeah.
It was a legit city, but it was a small town city feel, And in the last 10 to 20 years, man,
it has boomed here. We got film, we got business, we got tech.
Try driving down to 75. How many businesses you got? You got Wells Fargo's here.
Oh, yeah.
Like we got 5 different banks, 2 movie studios, including shout out to Mr. Perry because he
for real.
He bought a fort. I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
But
that surprised me too, and he's buying up a lot more.
Yeah.
And the city of Atlanta is helping him do that.
Yeah, man, it's new black. I love it. Black Mecca, baby.
Now, WSB is reporting that Atlanta marks 400 years since first enslaved Africans arrived in colonies. 400 years ago this week, the first enslaved Africans were brought to the British colony of Virginia. Those roughly 24 Africans were the start of centuries-long tide of black people sold into bondage and brought to toil in what would become the United States. I don't really like talking. I'm not. Let me tell you this story. When I was in 5th grade, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. And I'm going to tell you the hard part of learning about slavery in the South is the fact that's where they leave it at. They say, black people came to this country as slaves, and they don't tell you about where we came from. They don't tell you about Africa. They don't tell you about the kings. They don't tell you about the queens. All they do is as you're sitting here next to your counterparts, they tell you this was the master and this was you the slave. And I think it creates an inferiority complex in our community.
I think so,
and I still see it to this day, even at the highest levels. I'm talking about doctors. I'm talking about CEOs. They still feel inferior to their counterparts. And I think in 2019, we should all feel free. We should all be successful, and we should all be striving to do our best. And we should never feel like there's some type of ceiling or someone that has control over our future or destiny.
Of course. I mean, there are always going to be people who have done better.
Oh, yeah.
But ain't no one better than.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You go.
And that's how I've always felt. Like I have a brother. My brother's 13 years older than me, and that's the same thing I tell him all the time. First of all, I get it. Different generation, and everything like that. And a lot, he likes to poo-poo on some of my compliments, like, "Oh, you got a degree," and think uppity. I'm like, no, I don't think that, Bleak. The real truth is, and that's not his real name, by the way.
I got you.
But listen, I don't think I'm better than you. I think I've done better than you.
Okay.
I think we have the same amount of hours in the day.
That's true.
I think we have the same days in and Y. We have the same 2 hands, 2 feet, and brain that God gave each other of us.
That's
so,
true. That's
I mean,
true.
If you feel inferior or you feel upset,
it's you.
That's you. And what
Exactly.
you really do is you're really getting mad at me for doing better than what you doing, but you really need to get mad at yourself.
Amen.
Go ahead, say that.
Hey.
Now, my good friends over at the Apex Museum have a beautiful exhibit that is for a part of its 400th anniversary of the first enslaved Africans landing in North America. So if you would like to learn more or if you want to go see that exhibit, please visit my friends over on Auburn Street at the Apex Museum. It is a beautiful museum full of rich African-American history. Now, I gotta talk about this, and I hate this type of mess. But Popeyes
Oh, Lord.
chicken sandwich
Bruh.
is a surprise hit. Popeyes is saying we did not expect
It's not
this
a
type of
surprise.
reaction.
It's not. Okay, listen. First of all, there's so many things I got to say about it. Number one, it is not shocking and surprising that Popeye's chicken is good.
Okay.
Popeye's chicken has always been good.
Say that.
Y'all decided to get popular about it. Okay.
Okay.
Number two, people of other descents, the Popeye service has never been good.
Okay.
But the food has always been great. So
Yes.
that's why we go. But my biggest beef about all this, and I might have to put the dump button on myself. I'm gonna need for my people to stop acting quote unquote a certain way
Over a chicken sandwich.
Over chicken.
Especially chicken. With all them stereotypes.
Over chicken. I mean, y'all can line up a Popeye's chicken, but I can't line up to go vote.
Wow. There you go. Now that's powerful. If you can line up a chicken, but you can't line up to go vote. Now, they're saying that this chicken sandwich is going to rival with the famous Chick-fil-A chick sandwich. What do you think?
Okay, listen. Okay, so I've been on some keto stuff, so I'm dying to try both of them.
All right.
I have a feeling that the Popeye's chicken is legit.
Okay.
Because it's a bigger piece of chicken. Number one. All right. That's
I ain't tried it yet.
It's a bigger piece. It's even though Popeyes is crispier than Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has never been crispy.
No.
It's been more of that sweet breaded feel, you know? So I think that's what they popping with that. But you know, man, Chick-fil-A is just like, that's church on Sunday.
Okay.
It's always gonna be good for you. You know, it's always gonna be good for you. You know, it's gonna be exactly what you knew, what you wanted, and everything you did. You gonna get and you will always go be pleasantly surprised.
Wow.
And I think that Popeyes is the new hot thing. Give it 2 months, give it 3 months, give it a year.
Okay.
There ain't gonna be lines down the street for Popeyes chicken sandwiches in 2-3 years, but Chick-fil-A will always have a line, and you always get out of there in 5 minutes. My pleasure. Hey, keep going, Chick-fil-A. I love you.
Lord have mercy. Well, coming up September 14th and 15th is the Moms All In Conference. I will be speaking there. Please join me live at the Moms All In Conference. To get your tickets, you can go to momsallinconference.com. And just for me, Miss Michelle Taylor Willis has put together a special discount for all of our listeners right here at the Real 1100 AM. You can go to momsallinconference.com, hit buy tickets, and if you want to get a nice 10% discount, use INFL10 at checkout, and this will give you a 10% discount on VIP tickets and regular admission tickets. And please join us and help support this event. It's September 14th and 15th in Atlanta. It is the Moms All In Conference. This conference is for mompreneurs. So mom does so much in every family. Mom has always been the rock. She is the foundation in almost every family. And now these moms are getting out here being entrepreneurs. And I love the spirit behind it. And I'm doing everything that I can possibly do to try to support this initiative. So go to momsallinconference.com. Get a 10% discount by typing in INFL10 at checkout. That's a little hard to say on air. We're going to have to talk to her about that. I'm going to just need an influencer, all right, at checkout. And then that way you can get your 10% discount. But if you want to know more information, text us, text I365 Radio to 55469 and get more information on the Moms All In Conference. You can meet me live and in person. You can meet Rashad Ritchie, Martina Edwards, Michelle Taylor Willis. I'm not going to go through the whole list because there's so many great people that's going to be there. I think Nick Nelson, the brandpreneur himself, will also be in the house, and I'm even excited about that one. Also, please vote for Influencer 365 at riceawards.com. Once you go to riceawards.com, right there at the top of the site, you'll see where it says Vote Now. I am nominated for the Founders Rising Star Award. So go to Founders Rising Star, hit the button. That'll drop down all the other nominees. Just look for Kevin C. Pride. All right? When you vote for Kevin C. Pride, a vote for Kevin C. Pride is a vote for entrepreneurs everywhere. I'm telling y'all, I am going to the Senate.
Seriously?
Just wait.
Wow. Get the buttons made.
Hey, are you going to vote? That's what I want to know.
Hey, you got my vote. You got my vote.
There we go. I got his vote. So, also, if you want to stay updated with the show, if you want to find out about the podcast, text I365 Radio to 55469. We'll send you all the information about the show. You can keep up with us every week from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here on the Real 1100 AM. We'll also show you how, if you're on Android, it'll give you the Android podcast. If you're on Apple, of course, it'll give you the Apple podcast. Also, visit influencer365.com if you got questions or if you want to talk to us or if you just want to let us know how great we're doing, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and then just leave us your information, and we'll be more than happy to get in contact with you and talk about some of the issues you may be having, or if you need to be branded, whatever it is that you might need, let us know, and we'll definitely get in contact with you. It has been another great influencer radio show here on the Real 1100 AM. Ms. LaFarris, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for sitting here with the Atlanta Business Journal Hot Topics.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to read this book.
This
is a great book. I already know it's a great book. I can just feel the greatness coming off of it through my hands. Join me next week right here on the Real 1100 AM. Don't sit in traffic being upset, cussing folks out. Tune in, Real 1100 AM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and get you some great business advice and you'll hear from some of the top leaders in business. And I'm going home. I'm going to take me some Alka-Seltzer and some NyQuil, and I'm getting up under some covers. I might get a Popeye sandwich. We are out.